Most motivated people can learn to design just as they can learn most other things. And most design schools teach design more or less the same way. Let's have a look at how it's done. The focus of the curriculum is the design studio. At Virginia Tech, our design students each have their own desk in a studio like the one you see here in Burchard Hall. Our studios are all 6 credit hours and meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, either from 8 to noon or 1 to 5. In the School of Architecture and Design, our students majoring in architecture, landscape architecture, interior design, and industrial design all work together on projects like the ones you see here and here. The goal of these first-year projects is to learn how to create abstract 2- and 3-dimensional compositions that convey design principles that will be important in all of their future work. Balance, rhythm, movement, hierarchy, monumentality, delicacy, and many other ways of describing the qualities of a composition are explored. Students also have the chance to use old and new technology to build models to represent their ideas. In this images, students are working in a wood shop. At Virginia Tech, we also have metal lathes and mills, and increasingly, 3D printers and other computer-driven modeling tools are used. In this image, a laser cutter was used to cut hundreds of layers of paper that, when assembled, create an undulating series of spaces based on a computer script that creates a fluid transition of space from a starting composition on one end to a different composition on the other end. In addition to increasing use of digital technology, we also still emphasize the importance of laborious hand drawing as seen here. There are efforts to 3D print entire buildings, but realistically, we are still a long way from that becoming a reality for most buildings. So the best buildings are still the work of skilled craftsmen. When a designer is also a skilled craftsman, the designer can more easily relate to the importance and difficulty of the work builders are asked to do. So learning to draw well is valuable. Physical models of the buildings architecture students design are also valuable for our students and for professionals. You learn things about a design when you can see a physical representation of the proposed building that are hard to grasp from drawings alone. Computer renderings and digital models are also helpful, but the physical model is still the best in most cases. Here's another example of the sort of models our students built. By the end of a school year, there are thousands of models stacked on shelves and on or under students' desks. Some students also have the chance to work on actual full-scale working buildings. In this image, you see the first finished kitchen for a research project titled Future House. You can Google Virginia Tech Future House, spelled F-U-T-U-R-E-H-A-U-S, and you will find dozens of articles about the project. Projects of this type are a great way for students to learn how actual buildings are realized from start to finish. Switching over to interior design, the work interior design students do is more similar than different when compared to the work of architecture students. This is a picture of an unfinished space in a Seattle high-rise I worked on years ago. The lower floors of the building were rented as an office space. The top floors were sold as empty space, as seen here, for building out as residential condominiums. I gave my interior design students this space to design a condo exactly as the building was finished by professional designers working for actual clients. Here's one example of the results. The students had to work within the space given to create floor plans and renderings to represent how the residence would look if built. On another occasion, the owner of a local restaurant asked us to develop ideas to renovate his dining space. Here's another example of the same project designed by a different student. Our Virginia Tech students might recognize the restaurant, a local favorite for calzones, DP dough. Here's my last example. When students say they are majoring in interior design, most people immediately think of decorating homes with curtains and throw pillows, but most interior design programs focus on corporate offices, hotels, restaurants, medical facilities, and retail spaces. Yes, most students will design a residential project or two while in school, but the focus is mostly on commercial projects like this retail space. This is necessary simply because, like architects, the most critical aspect of the profession is to design in a way that protects the safety, health, and welfare of the people who occupy the buildings we design. There are mountains of regulations and building codes that must be followed, and the rules are more challenging for commercial spaces. This is why schools focus on the design of commercial buildings. So that's what design students do. It's an exciting experience to imagine a building, space, or landscape, or new product in your head and ultimately see it come to life. It's hard work, time-consuming, and often stressful, but is also rewarding to create the things that shape our future. Increasingly, it is also an incredible responsibility. We simply can't slow climate change and improve our lives if we don't radically change how and where we design and build our buildings.